A lot of the nighttime variants in Mario Maker are honestly very lame. The dark stages, making everything slippery, and being upside down really aren't that fun. The sandstorm and making the castle levels, water levels are fine I guess, and I'm glad that the grass, sky, and airship levels all have very similar mechanics, but are different in their own way, which makes them have their own uses. But what if Nintendo chose different gimmicks for the nighttime stages? Which ones would they choose? Well, these are the ones that I came up with. My idea for the nighttime grass theme was inspired by Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where partway through Angel Island Zone it catches on fire. Now how exactly would this work in Mario Maker? Well, it could make it so that when Mario uses fireballs, or when fire bars, burners, bomb explosions, or other fire-type objects touch the grass, but a fire will stay there that's able to hurt Mario. This, along with frozen coins, could lead to some pretty interesting puzzles, and it's not super intrusive if you just want the nighttime aesthetic. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool idea. For the sky theme, my idea is for the cloud and ground tiles to be bouncy. This came from the fact that there are bouncy cloud platforms in 3D World. I made it so that semi-solids, donut blocks, spike blocks, etc. still act as normal ground, as it'd just be kinda lame if everything was bouncy. But I still think I 100% prefer the one that's already in the game. I think that this would be a pretty fun mechanic. The ground themed Snipe gimmick is probably my least favorite of any of them. Being upside down is just completely unfun. Yes, I like underwater dark levels more than upside down levels. Sue me. Anyway, what would I choose instead? My first thought was just to make them dark, but I quickly ruled it out as that's just incredibly lame. I then decided to follow what I did for Sky and make a ground tile and specific block act differently. I decided to make it so that after you stand on ground and hard blocks for a few seconds, they actually completely crumble and don't ever respawn. This mechanic could lead to some cool platforming sections, puzzle levels, and even huge gigantic contraptions, which just sounds really cool to me. Forest Snipe gimmick is absolutely perfect. It fits extremely well, and while yes, lava exists, it's still cool to see lava in different level themes, and with a new coat of paint. So it was really hard to come up with a new one, but I did come up with a pretty good one if I do say so myself, which I do. Basically, instead of the water being just straight up poison, it's poisonous, and will damage water if he's in it for too long, acting very similar to Mario Odyssey's ice water in the Snow Kingdom and Darker Side. This could give poison and lava differences to each other, though the thing we have right now is definitely something I don't mind. Water levels suck. We all know that, so what did Nintendo do? Make them even worse. Which sucks, because there's like two cool things they could have done instead. They could have made it so that there's no water at all. I think that'd be pretty nice. Jokes aside, what I came up with is kinda similar to the Deserts gimmick, where a water stream is constantly pushing you forward. This honestly could be a pretty decent mechanic. Since you have basically infinite jumps, it could lead to some pretty challenging platforming sections where you have to, like, maneuver through spikes or something. And I tried to replicate this in my level Sapphire Sea, and there's the level ID if you want to play it. Yes, I'm very subtle. More dark levels! Yay! So fun! Why couldn't they have done something more like Ghost Housey, like make coins damage you or something? Yeah, that's my idea. Coins just damage you now. Nice. The wind gimmick is kinda eh. It can be cool if it's used right, but for the most part it's kinda lame. And I honestly think it's weird that there's no quicksand or quicksand-like objects in Mario Maker, so I decided to make it so the ground blocks act just like quicksand, to attempt to fill that void. Now, the starting blocks that you first spawn in on won't act like quicksand, they'll just act like normal ground. This also applies to the sky theme, where everything is bouncy. This is definitely my favorite of all the nighttime variants, which made it difficult to come up with a new one, but after a lot of thought, I think I've come up with a pretty decent one, which is inspired by the fact that there's a thunderstorm going on in the background. Don't worry, the rain won't make the floor slippery or anything, but instead electricity will conduct around enemies, making it so that you can't jump on enemies you normally can, like Goombas or Koopas, but you can still kill them with a star or fireball. Amps should have been a Mario Maker. The atmosphere of the snow theme is incredibly cold, especially at night, so it makes sense that the ground would freeze over. What if something else froze? That's right, Goombas! If Goombas are in the Snow Night theme, they will basically act as a more dangerous frozen coin, which Nintendo should have let us done in any style, but whatever, this'll do. Now, my idea was to do something with the lava, and after some thinking and a bit of inspiration from Celeste, I decided to have the lava freeze over and act just like ice blocks do, being slippery. So it's basically a solid platform that you control how high and low it travels, and do levels where you have to escape a cave while the floor comes rushing at you. Sorta like Sonic Mania's Hydrosity or Lava Reef. There we go, new nighttime variants for each of Mario Maker's level themes. If you have any other ideas, tell me in the comments below. And until next time, I'm One Nutty Girl. Bye bye!